of the day. Me and one of the colleagues, we were doing a comparison. A comparison between, you can say, general insurance online, because all those companies versus the one that's basically in physical stores. What is the difference? How much money that they make? And which is the better option to go? And how much money the actually person is saving? We looked at it individually because since of the new regulations, you can do buy on the internet versus buying physically individually. Because of COVID, a lot of rules have changed. So you can go on the internet and purchase your own general insurance. Agreed. But physically, you can go in and get it done. The products are the same because it's not different at all. Just the company have a product online versus the product in the stores. Different wise by the cost, maybe $10 to $20 because they don't have to pay an individual to do the cost. But in actuality, how much is the money that an individual actually makes if they get the car insurance done? The actual cost for the salesman who does it for you is about anywhere from $40 to maybe $100 to get your paperwork done on your car, and he gets paid renewal fees every time you renew it. Whereas on the online, you're only getting a little bit of sales, but most of the money is still going to the company who put the program in to run the program. Their fees going to be out instead for use of that. Now, what is the difference? Not much at all. For individuals, that's great. Maybe saving $2 to $3 a month. But in actuality, is that a big amount? No. But it's harder for you to get from, say, if you want to get life insurance, to be online versus an actually going in and physically sitting down with an advisor to get insurance. Are two different things. Because of the general insurance area, the rules are basically the same. The companies buy the insurance from the government itself. A BC, for example, is BC insurance. So there is not a large markup because most of it goes to the government itself for the car insurance. The rest is only a little bit for them to use to run the businesses or the fees for the individual. That's about it. But mostly insurance is done by the government. So since the government bypassed all the others, they still kept most of the money. Think about it. What's the use of actually going on the online or the others? It's about the same, almost. You're only saving $40 to $100. Doesn't make sense. Unless you got a very, very expensive vehicle or you have a fleet of vehicles, then yes, it is more cheaper to go in and do it yourself, and you save a lot of money over the long time. But if you have that much money, do you want to get the headache and do it yourself, or go in and get somebody else to do it for you to save the time? That's the main thing on that for general insurance. But for life insurance, a lot of people I've seen are trying to buy life insurance online. Life insurance, we noticed that basically, yes, you can get a term insurance. It doesn't make any difference. You buy it online or buy it through an agent or an advisor. It doesn't make any difference. Why? Because the same amount is the thing. You're going basically buying insurance, basic one. There's no cash value inside of it. So that value of term insurance varies. Yes, it could be a little bit more, usually on the outside, but cheaper when you go with an individual advisor. Is the opposite. But because the amount of volume that's being done. Internet is great because you can get cheaper amount leads and it's individually done. Whereas advisor who's going to be doing maybe 50 to 60 to 100 a month, is going to get more because a cheaper rate for him to use because he's doing more volume. Key thing is the volume, amount of volume that one does. Internet, a single person versus an individual that's going to do more for company wise. That being said, that's just term insurance. But where the thing comes in, we noticed, is the value for permanent insurance with whole life and universal life. We noticed that the amount of money that you can say you're putting in, and when you're putting in $2,000 to $3,000, it takes longer if you're going to do by yourself because you gotta go through a lot of hurdles. You gotta get through the government part because if you gotta get criminal records done, you have to make sure your account is done. Everything's illegal money, is not illegal money. Then you also gotta go in and you have to get checked out through the company itself again if everything's legal. Then they're gonna be seeing if you're insurable, not insurable. This could take up to 6 months to a year sometimes. But during that time period, what happens to your health? If your health goes down, then you get no insurance. Whereas if you sit down with the advisor, the difference is this. When you sit down with the advisor, he gets it done. You frees up your time. You can do what you want to make more money. While you're making more money with your free time, so wasting it, to want to go through all the hurdles, you have freed up time that you can use to earn. Now, what the advisor does, he then takes the money, checks your background and everything, and that gives that to the government plus the company at the same time. So the process of the time period is cut down from 6 months to a year down to maybe around close to 1 to 2, depending on the blood works that required or what the information they wanted for health wise. That slows a little bit down, but basically all the background checks and everything's done, pre-done, and it's all sent information because the advisor is the one who's taking the onus and responsibility to make sure that everything of your stuff is correct. Because his license and his work-wise is on the line because he's going to check everything for the government and the insurance companies. So once his paperwork's done, he sends it in. It's his responsibility for your insurance that you have legal money, not illegal. So that being said, it's his responsibility. That's why it takes less time period for an individual to get their insurance versus them doing themselves. Because they're taking the responsibility themselves to be the owners and they're getting them checked by the government. Whereas the advisor is going to be doing the checking and they're going to do a follow-up. That being said, the only medical part is done. Once done, the insurance is given. That being seen in the process, we're deciding is better versus the other one on the outside. But we also noted in the product-wise on the outside, we noticed that you can say individual product has, you can say, small amount of money plus has less benefits. Main thing. Whereas you got an advisor, because they do more volume, the insurance companies give them a little more incentives and more products built in according to the companies. Some companies have a huge bill of things, they get more benefits. For example, you get added features for the same product that you're going to be buying yourself. You buy one product on the outside market, but you might not have it on there because the advisor has a cheaper rate for the same thing, but specifically designed for them by the companies. Yes, some companies can't purchase another person's product because it's specifically designed for that company because the amount of volume of insurance one does. You being an individual, are not access to that. You can't get it. Even the smaller company won't be able to get it, the bigger ones, the benefits of it. Each one, depending on them, have designed their own insurances to benefit them so they get a better edge over another company. That is the thing. You by yourself might not get the benefits, but going with an advisor who has a different varieties of different insurances can get better products and with more benefits for you for the same cost and save you more time and more money.